Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I got an awesome special series. I got my mentor, my guy, my spiritual guy. I've been knowing him over 25 plus years. I'm not gonna get into it. I'll show you just go look at the other watch and listen to the other episodes that I had over 2 or 3 years ago. I had the honor and privilege to knowing this person of God over whew, 30 some close to 30 years. I know
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
know about
yeah,
if you know about PBS, Tony Brown and all that good stuff, he was on there. That's where I originally saw him, ladies and gentlemen, when I was back in the day on Tony Robbins, Tony Brown. I apologize, Tony Brown on PBS. If you guys is watching and listen, you know about Tony Brown. That's deep. You know, Montel show, Oprah's
yeah,
husband on there. It's
yeah.
so far, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna read this because it's gonna take time, and then make sure you guys subscribe. You're watching on my YouTube. Make sure you subscribe if you're listening, whatever podcast platform you have. So I'm gonna read this in deep because he deserves this, and I want you guys to feel this, listen and hear this, because we're gonna get a perspective, and he's gonna give you some tips and advice on this, whether it's in life or business or whatever. This is the purpose of it. So this is a four-part that I appreciate him coming through. You know, I get passionate, but this is my platform where I'm honored for him to have it. I told him he has his own time to go toward this. So part one of this is gonna be deep, so you guys can know and make that's the purpose of you guys subscribing, so you can get the other 3 or 4 series of this episodes. So, who is this special series episode for? It's for those interested in a brief perspective and tip and or advice from such topics in personal development, business leadership, and real estate investing. So I'm honored once again to have one of my close-knit wise leaders on the show today. Today's guest is Dr. Herbert Harris. Dr. Herbert Harris is a renowned top personal development leader. Dr. Harris is a personal development leader, author of the renowned book, The 12 Universal Laws of Success. This is the book I'm telling you about, ladies and gentlemen. His book provides an organized, straightforward, step by step approach to basic success principles and laws of universe under which they operate. Here are the following topics that Dr. Harris is going to give our listeners and watchers a basic introduction to his chapter in the book for our 4 part chapter episode series I was telling you about. Now, each episode series will cover 3 chapters of brief perspective and or tips personally shared by Dr. Harris, by which I will share his link for more information in his coaching, speaking requests, and other products and services available to you listeners and listeners and watchers that are business owner, entrepreneurs. If it doesn't matter if you're going through life, business owner, entrepreneur, if you're interested in getting in contact with Dr. Harris and his team. As a bonus, if you decide to purchase Dr. Harris' book from my special link, then make sure you email me for a free online copy of my webinar that I converted to a book listed on Amazon called Financial Freedom with 401k and Retirement Income: How to Use Your 401k and Retirement Income to Grow Passive Income Real Estate. So, here are the breakdown for our 4 part episode series, ladies and gentlemen. Part one is going to be about part one episode series, brief perspective, and our tips will cover from chapter 1 to 3 is chapter 1, the law of thought. You become what you think. Chapter 2, the law of change. Change your life by changing your thoughts. And chapter 3, the law of vision. What you see is what you get. Part 2 of the episode is going to be from chapter 4 to chapter 6. Chapter 4 is the law of command. What you say is what you get. Chapter 5 is the law of human magnetism. Attract the people you want to meet. Chapter 6, the law of focus and discipline. Keep your eye on the prize. Part 3 of part 4 series is going to be chapter 7, the law of action. How to do what most be how to do what must be done effectively. Chapter 8, the law of value, mutual exchange. Invest your time, energy, and money wisely. And chapter 9, the power of relationships, the power of being light. Then chapter 4, the end of the series, 10 through 12, ladies and gentlemen, the law of supply and opportunity. There is always enough of what you need. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, these are going to be tied to Bible verses that you can verify on also in the chapters. So the law of supply and opportunity, there's always enough of what you need. Chapter 11, the law of persistence and results. Winners never quit and quitters never win. And number 12, chapter 12, the law of truth. The truth shall make you free. For more information, go to the link, as I said before, ladies and gentlemen, located in the description. If you decide to purchase Dr. Harris' book from my special link, then make sure you email me a free online copy of my webinar converted to a book listed on Amazon, also called Financial Freedom with 401k and Retirement Income, how to use your 401k and retirement income to grow passive income with real estate. Welcome to the show, sir.
Oh, my pleasure, Nicholas. I'm always honored to be on your program, man. I'm super proud of you, a
Thank
young man who's doing stuff. A lot of times I think of myself,
you.
we're like the the first string from years ago. Now you guys are the new first string,
Yes,
and
sir.
we pass off the ball to you, and I'm quite confident that you're going to take it and run with it. So
Thank,
congratulations, man. It's an honor to be on your program.
thank you, thank you. I'm honored to meet you and be in this atmosphere with you, sir. Also, but I'm not going to keep them waiting. The listeners and the watchers, I just want to get to it. As we said before, Dr. Harris, if they want to get more in deep, they can watch the other episode, but this is for the purpose on there because, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, like I told Dr. Harris about 3 or 4 days ago, it's funny how God put a person in position to endure to set out his word, to serve his word. So I laugh at sometimes how he pushed me where, I have sacrificed and I kind of like came around in time where your book, you have a chapter in your book where you talk about you go through levels during your age where you learn this stuff and then you master it and you become a legend. I feel that way at this time. So now I feel like time is coming back around where I was a loan officer, Dr. Harris, and a mortgage broker at a short time where I was helping people get approved for loans, and I love helping people, and I love to see the after effect where they feel like they can't do it, Dr. Harris. Then all of a sudden, if they just follow it step by step, which you have sections in your book that states that they overcome and they made it successful. So the purpose I have you, Dr. Harris, and here, and if the listeners watching and listening in, this is to help you whether you're going through life or whether my people, Dr. Harris, is they want to get them a house. These are first time home buyers, which, ladies and gentlemen, if you listen to a section, the episode, we talked about that 2 years ago. Dr. Harris has had multiple properties in time, but he knows about real estate. He had a brownstone where he said we talked about how he originally bought it, how the value went up in time. Remember we talking about that, Dr.
Yes, yes, yes,
Harris?
yes, yes.
So, so that's an example where, if I'm not mistaken, too, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get him another time too. We're gonna do short takes or whatever, where I want to get his history because he's been around so many celebrities, ladies and gentlemen, and people of as we say, value. There's local neighborhood of people of our color that was known. Where I'm gonna ask you about the term in time, which is called redlining. Have you ever heard of redlining?
Oh,
Redlining.
absolutely.
You
Yes,
really, because he's an
yes,
attorney also, ladies and
yes,
gentlemen. He's an
yes,
attorney, so I know about that. So they
yes.
had certain sections written off for the black and the Hispanics or whatever. Where am I correct? The
Oh
red
yeah.
line.
Oh yeah. They would take a map and they take a
Yes.
red pen and they draw out an area and they
Mm,
call it redlining because in that area they agreed not to loan any money. And
thank
they
you.
and they convinced themselves that it was a bad investment. That if you loan money in this area, you're going to lose your money because they're not going to pay you.
Mm,
And the tragedy of that in New York, it's just a short story. I was at one of the black banks in New York, and I was concerned that it was so difficult to get a mortgage in Harlem. And I said to the president of the black bank, I said, well, why aren't you all doing more to loan money in Harlem?
mm,
He said, well, Harlem has been redlined for years. And see, there are different levels of redlining. You have the local level redlining, you can't get a mortgage. But then the upper level of redlining is this. When a bank loans, for example, a bank loans $1 million, okay? They don't hold that $1 million. They take the paper from that mortgage and they sell it to a mortgager, what they call a packager, people who put
Yeah.
groups of mortgages together. And
Yeah.
you often know when you make your mortgage, you'll get a letter 3 or 4 months saying the mortgage is being serviced
Yeah.
by this company.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they'll take that paper and they'll put it with a mortgage bundler and they'll
A
get back
package.
like, yeah, like
The secured
900,000
paper. They call them like secured notes.
secured
Secured
notes.
paper. Yeah.
Put them
Exactly. Yeah.
all together. And so they'll give them $1 million mortgage and get back 900,000. They can loan that out now. Then they'll take that 900,000, put that with a secured packager, get back 800,000. So they can leverage $1 million into $10 million in loans. Okay.
Wow. Right.
But,
Right.
but when they redline on the high level, the black bank can't pass that paper on, so they have to hold it themselves.
Why couldn't they pass it on though? Why?
But that's what I said, the high level redlining.
High level red line.
Redlining.
Okay.
In other words,
Okay.
they won't accept their paper. They'll say,
Okay.
well, that paper is not secure enough for us to put in this bundle.
Because they felt at that time, because everything changed. Like I said,
Yeah, yeah. But
ignorance is bliss, ladies and gentlemen. Ignorance is
ignorance is
bliss, though.
bliss.
Bliss, though. But at that time, it felt like I guess it wasn't valuable.
Yeah.
That
But
paper,
it
the
was
notes that someone
yeah,
paid wasn't valuable at that time, so they
yeah.
had it set out as a red line. Man, that's deep.
This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and I'm coming to you on the Nick Brown Podcast. This is a show that will teach you all that you need to know to be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire. So tune in. The Nick Brown Podcast can change your life.
I didn't know that,
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen. I'm just not finding this out also because
yeah,
I did. This
yeah,
man has wisdom, so you know about the mortgages and all.
yeah.
So
Oh,
you know
yeah,
about the
yeah,
game, about the red
yeah,
line.
yeah.
Wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Reason why this is another point, Dr. Harris. So this is going to be second nature to you. You'll see what the mission and outcome is. 75%, we call it 75 for all for mortgages. So they go by demographics, which, ladies and gentlemen, we're not. Please understand, there's no racism. It's just justice. We feel like it's fair. So 75% they have a breakdown, Dr. Harris, of Caucasians. They're like 73% that have the home ownerships, and they got LGBT. Then they have, I think it's like 60%. Then the black and brown is lower. You follow me? So
Right.
it's like
Yeah.
43%. But our
Uh-huh.
overall 75 for all, we need to educate. Our goal is to educate the black and brown on how they can become a homeowner where they want have that certain effect of what people realizing is this is today's redlining. There's redlining in certain areas people not aware of that's still going on.
Yes. Yes.
Sneaky as it kept. So that's the
Yeah.
purpose of this right here, Dr. Harris. So this would be second nature to you. This would be
Hmm.
second nature to you. You know the purpose of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was another tip. That was another story that, and that's the purpose where this is going to be second nature to him. So, Dr. Harris, we're going to respect your time because you're going to be on other episodes on there. So the first that we're going to get the first or we want to get your perspective. You said before in the previous episode, we love to get perspectives and share your wisdom tips what your perspective is. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna give you hold of it, and I may ask a couple questions. I'll put my little input, but we're gonna go over law of thought, law of change, and law of vision. So the first one, could you explain in your book, ladies and gentlemen? Make sure you get that book also. Hit the link or whatever we get you, where you can get your knowledge. It's called Law of Thought. What's your perspective on it? What is Law of Thought and what's your perspective and some tips on that?
Well, the law of thought ties in with what's called the law of manifestation. So if we look at the theory of relativity, there's a formula: E, energy, equals M, mass, times the speed of light squared. On a spiritual level, E is energy, is vibration, equals manifestation. And so a thought is a vibration. And
Okay.
so when you have a thought in your mind, it literally creates a vibration. If you look at one of these cryelian photographers where they can pick up the energy level in the brain, in the body, you'll see when a person's having a thought, you have a high energy level. And the higher that energy level, the more magnetic it becomes to attract whatever that thought would manifest as into
Mm,
your life experience.
mm,
So when you have, for example, a thought of good health, when
mm.
I want to be healthy, I live health, I eat properly, I get my exercise, that thought becomes magnetic and it attracts good health into your life experience. The scripture says, a man shall have whatsoever he thinks in his heart. I like to make it universal. A person, man or woman,
That's
will
right.
have whatsoever they think in their heart. And that means that there's a rational part of the thought. So, for example, wealth. You're talking about building real estate as a part of the wealth building potential for a family.
Well,
So you
tell them
have,
small, Dr.
uh-huh,
Harris.
uh-huh.
Tell it for the listeners that want to get them a loan that feel like they can't go from a renter to a homeowner.
Well, you see, your thoughts now project your reality.
That's
If
right.
you, Henry Ford said, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
That's right.
And so whatever you believe in your mind, that will become your reality. And so you have people who've never owned a home.
Mhm.
I had a friend that's made over $30 million in his lifetime, never owned a home.
Wow, you serious?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And he told me one day, he said, he came up to my brownstone
Hmm.
and he looked around. He said, man, I don't know why you live in this old house. My brownstone that one was built in 1877,
Man.
7 fireplaces. Okay. I don't know why you live in this old house. I live downtown on the east side in a high-rise apartment. I pay 2,500 a month.
New York?
Yeah, New York.
Okay.
This
Wow.
is a little while ago.
Right, right. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm
Okay,
just setting this set.
because yeah, because I told him, I said, well, my mortgage is $400 a month.
Go ahead. That's low.
And that house, now just to show you how powerful real estate is, I bought
Hmm.
that house for 25,000.
Hmm.
It was a no money down deal. Okay.
Okay.
I
Okay.
paid 400 a month. I put
Okay.
about 35,000 into improvements,
Okay.
and then I
Okay.
sold that house for
But
200,000.
wow, wow, wow. That's almost
200.
10 times that you
That's
made
right.
from your
That's
investment.
that's right. And so the mindset now prepares you when you have a mindset for ownership. Then you say, well, the money that I spend as a rental, all I end up is with rent receipts. I got a shoebox full of rent receipts, 10 years rental. If I took that same money and I got past the hurdles of owning property, doing exactly that's why your work, Nicholas, is so important because many people don't know the process to get their credit straightened out, to the
That's right.
income, the ratios, and the structure. You got to know the rules of the game before you can win.
And one thing they don't know, they don't realize, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Harris, is when you're renting, your money is waste. You actually taking care of the landlord, you paying down his mortgage.
Yeah.
And you
Oh yeah.
you helping him build his value and
Yeah.
equity in the property. So no matter, don't kind of overlook what today's interest rate is, ladies and gentlemen, because in time, Dr. Harris is an example. I'm an example. A house doubles in value in time. So if you pay 1,500 today, in 10 years, you pay, I don't care if it's 150. Just think about the house that you bought that was worth 100,000 from now, and in 10 years, it's worth 200,000. At least
Yeah.
you have at least $50,000 worth of equity or projected equity if that owner decides to sell it to you or whatever. So don't look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That's my point is. Am I
Hmm.
right, Dr. Harris? So that process,
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
you building value. I mean, you're just building
And, and
value, doubling up.
and that same that the brownstone I bought when I sold that one, I bought another brownstone for 40,000 and two others on the block for
So you were
40,000.
cleaning up. You was cleaning
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I took
Wow.
I I took the money from that one and I bought three others.
Yes,
One
sir.
I lived in. I at that point I married. I got married and the new wife didn't want to live in the old house, so that's one of
Sure,
the reasons
sure.
I sold it. You know,
Right. But you
but
made
I
a profit. You made
made
something out of it.
a
Yeah.
profit. Then I
Right.
invested into three others. One I lived in, and even
Compound.
that we made it an income producing property. I'm like, okay, let's live rent free, right? So we
Right.
bought the three brownstones. The one I lived in, I made a duplex for myself, me and my wife at the time, and then upstairs I had four apartments.
Okay.
And so the apartments paid the mortgage.
That's right. Right.
All
Cash
right.
flow. Right.
Cash
It was
flow.
paying down. Yeah. Paying
Paying
down the
down.
mortgage
That's
and
it.
building value as we go on there. So,
That's
ladies and
it.
gentlemen, that's just a tip on there. The law of thought. Where there's a will, there's a way. But what he was reading, Dr. Harris, was, if you guys look at the chapter, that's
Mhm.
Proverbs 23:7. For as they think it in their heart, so are they.
This is Dr. Herbert Harris, author of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. I invite you to visit our website, www.herbertharris.com. And on that website, book a call to speak directly with me so that I can help you achieve your goals and build your dreams. Once again, herbertharris.com so that I can talk with you about creating the life of your dreams. herbertharris.com. That's
So
it.
let's explain that. Go to Dr. Number two if you can. We got about 5 to 10 more minutes.
Sure.
It don't matter if
The
you don't
second
mind.
the second law of success is the law of change. And it really says if you want to change your life, change your thinking. There's a scripture that talks about don't pour new wine into old jars.
Right.
Okay? Because the jars will break. As they say in the old days to put wine in goat skin, because
Mm,
new wine will break the goat skin and you
okay.
lose everything. Similarly, don't take old thoughts into a new environment.
Mm,
So the law of change says if you want to change your condition, change your thinking. The scripture, the Romans 12th chapter, the second verse, it says, be not conformed to this world,
mm-hmm,
which means you don't have to accept what's going on right now. You don't have to be locked in by what the world tells you you can do.
mm-hmm.
But it says, be you transformed, be you changed by the renewing of your mind.
That's right.
So you think a new thought. You go from being the thought of a renter, ending up with rent receipts, to being the thought of a homeowner, ending up with equity.
That's right.
Your
Right.
wealth is in your mind, and your mind is based on your thoughts. And so the law of change says you can change your condition by changing your thinking. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, and I'm coming to you on the Nick Brown Podcast. This is a show that will teach you all that you need to know to be what you want to be, do what you want to do, and have anything you desire. So tune in. The Nick Brown Podcast can change your life.
That's deep. That's deep. And number three, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to end it. Make sure you get that book, read it, get in deep. But we're gonna have more though.
Yeah.
But this
Oh,
this is just
yeah.
a teaser. It's really just a teaser. But you
Yeah.
gotta get perfect action, ladies and gentlemen. Perfect
Yeah.
action. But I'm respecting this time because we're gonna move to the next. So chapter 3, the law of
Chapter
vision.
3, the law of vision. The scripture says, where there is no vision, the people perish.
Mm, mm,
And so you have to have a vision of what you want to be, do, and have. So when you back into the home ownership piece, that one of the things that motivates you to buy your house is to see your house, to have a vision of how the house is going to look, how the rooms are going to be laid out, how the floors are going to look. The clearer your vision, the greater your ability to make it happen in your life. We talked about thought being energy. So
yes.
the clearer your vision, the more you want it. Think about this. If you have a chocolate cake and somebody says, Nicholas, I want you to taste this chocolate cake. And they tell you all about it.
Hmm.
And you get a picture of it.
Right.
Go, yeah, that looks good. But if they bring you in the kitchen where the cake is just coming out the oven and you
Mm,
can smell it now
right. Right.
and you
Right.
can feel the warmth of the cake,
Hmm.
that expands your vision. And
Gotcha.
so the more detailed you can be about your vision, if you want to own a home, then see how it looks. See how you feel when you go and walk inside, how proud you feel. See how the hardwood floors are shining in the sunlight. Go into the
Gotcha.
bathroom and take a look at the tile on the walls. The more that you can see about the things you want, the greater your ability to manifest them in your life. This is Dr. Herbert Harris, author of the 12 Universal Laws of Success. I invite you to visit our website, www.herbertharris.com. And on that website, book a call to speak directly with me so that I can help you achieve your goals and build your dreams. Once again, herbertharris.com so that I can talk with you about creating the life of your dreams. herbertharris.com.
The law of vision. Here's a tip also, ladies and gentlemen. If you have you're a renter and you have challenges on your credit, don't worry about that. There's a will, there's a way. If you can listen, you're coachable, and you follow through and apply, you will get to the next level. And you'll be able, as I said before, to teach the next person. And you'll be able in time, because I want this to be a long term. I want this to stick in your head where if you get knocked down, next time it won't take as long for you to get back up. So this is the law of vision where now you got challenges on your credit, but follow through. We'll teach you. I have an online section. It's free where I educate you how to get started and what to look for. Same thing too. You can replay Dr. Harris's thing because it's going to start with your mindset and your law of vision and your thoughts. And get away from stinking thinking. The people you get away from those people. Just veer away from those people because they don't know where you're headed. They don't have your vision or where. Move on. Am I right, Dr. Harris?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Birds of a feather flock together.
That's right.
If you hang around 5 broke people, guess who the 6th one is?
Right, right. You. Right. But if you can recognize it, you better veer away.
That's it.
Hey, I gotta move. I got other things I gotta do. Nothing personal. I just have a different vision or approach I want to take of this at this time. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's chapter 3. So, overall, what's your perspective? Matter of fact, I got a personal question. What gives you life, Dr. Harris? Because you got choices where you can do your own thing. What keeps you going during your time, your
Well,
fortunate
yeah,
time?
what keeps me going is helping other people.
Okay,
If, God gives you the greatest gift that the Creator gives you is your time,
that's
gives
right.
you life. And your gift to the Creator is what you do with that time. And so if you do something with that time, make it meaningful so that the impact that you have of living goes far beyond your life, so that you leave a footprint, not
Mhm.
just in the sand, but in the concrete.
But not just in the sand, but the concrete.
In the
That's deep.
concrete, yeah. And you leave that footprint in people's minds. When you start teaching people how to transform their lives, I feel like a father with 1 million children.
Yes,
Because when,
yes,
when I see young folks like yourself, when I see them going from saying, I want to do something, I want to be something, I want to have something, and when I see them going from that to, I got it,
that's
I'm
right.
doing it, I
Yes,
am what I said I want to be. That
yes,
is what gives me joy. And so I think the Creator's blessed me with long life to be able to see over a period of time how things transform, how things change, and how things remain the same. And when you
okay.
can see the two, then you can help guide other people. And that's what brings me joy, man. I love to teach. I did this morning, every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern, I do a meditation. And it's a
Okay.
large group of people. We do our Monday meditation to help program people and prepare them for the day and for the week.
Can you give
So
me a link? Do you have a link to share, or do it got to
yeah,
be
oh yeah,
part of
that
the?
it's on Instagram, and my
Okay.
Instagram is Dr. Period Herbert Harris.
One more
Dr.
time.
Herbert Harris. Dr. Period Herbert Harris.
Okay, that's Instagram.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's
that's
my
it.
Instagram. And 8 o'clock on Monday, we do the meditation,
Eastern time or Central for
Eastern
the
time.
listener. Eastern
Eastern
time or
time,
Central. Okay,
8
okay.
a.m. Eastern. We do a Monday meditation. On Wednesday, we do a Wednesday discussion. We call it the hump day. Wednesday is the middle of the week. What do I have to do to make this week successful? And we
Okay.
give little tips. Maybe you need to perk up. Maybe you need to step up your energy. Maybe you let yourself get distracted. And now you still got Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to make that week successful. And then Friday at 8 a.m., we do the Friday checkup. And the
Friday
checkup is
checkup.
from the neck up, what thoughts have you entertained over this last week that made you either fly or flop? Okay.
Okay.
And then a checkup from the heart down. What feelings, what emotions did you get stuck with? Maybe you felt inadequate. You saw somebody else having all this success and you thought, well, I can't do that. I don't know how to do that. And so that Friday checkup helps the person say, look, this is what you did. Focus on the good things you accomplished. Don't worry about the stuff you didn't do. Don't worry about, look at a failure as a dress rehearsal for success.
That's
There's
right.
no failure, it's only lessons.
That's right.
But focus on the good stuff you accomplished. I recommend that people write down every day all the stuff that they got done. We
Okay.
have that tendency to focus on what we didn't get done, but focus
Mhm.
on make a list of everything you accomplish each day. And from that list, you can really rebuild your confidence in yourself. You say, well, maybe I didn't get 9 things done, but I sure did 6, and I
Okay.
did them well.
That's
Okay.
a challenge then. Where we wrap this up. That's what I was going to ask you. Do you have any
Mhm.
homework or suggestions or tips? So when they come to part two, when we hit the chapters, we can rehash that, or we can get their input.
Well,
So
well,
you have any
the,
suggestions or
yeah, the key
tips?
thing is this: the culmination of chapter 3, the law of vision, is the one, write your vision.
Mm,
The Habakkuk, the second chapter and chapter, second and third verses, the Habakkuk, one of the shortest books in the Bible, says, write the vision, make it plain upon tablets.
that's right. I'm reading that. Two,
And
2, 3.
that's it.
Chapter 2. Yeah, 2, 2, and 3. Write the vision, make it upon
Make it
tablets,
plain upon tablets.
and
And
they
it
may
goes on,
run with it. Yeah.
and it
Go ahead.
goes on to say that he may run that readeth it. And so that's saying if you don't write it down, you can't make a plan. When you run that readeth it, that's your plan. It
Mm-hmm.
goes on to say, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. Your vision has a life of its own. Example, you have a vision of corn, growing corn to feed your family. Your family's hungry,
Mm-hmm.
and you got these seeds of corn, and you plant them and you nurture them. But that corn has a season of its own. You can't eat corn in a week, in 2 weeks.
Right, 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 right.
It takes you 60 to 90 days to grow corn.
Mm,
Similarly, like with your business and the
that's right.
credit business and buying a home, when you're trying to get your credit straight, once you get
Get a
the little
mortgage.
details worked
Exactly.
out to get that mortgage, you still got to put some time in there. It takes 3 to 6 months for all the mortgage, the credit agencies to pick up all the good work you're doing now and sustain and get that credit number up so you can qualify for a
That's
mortgage.
right. That's right.
So that but if you didn't write the goal and have that goal, then you might lose sight of it and say, oh, I straightened my credit out and it's been 30 days and I didn't get a mortgage. 60 days, I didn't get a mortgage. But the season is an important part of your goal. So the lesson for these first 3 chapters is if you can think it, you can be it. You can change your thoughts to change your condition, and then write your vision and break it down into goals. Because on
Right.
those goals are the platform for your life.
That's right. That's right. That's awesome. That's
And
awesome.
so the assignment is to write your goals. What
Write your
three
goals.
what 3 things would you like to accomplish over this year? Don't just write goals for a month, but what 3 things would you like to accomplish over this year? When you write those 3 things that what you'd like to accomplish this year, amazing things will happen. If you read them over 2 or 3 times a day, it stays in your mind. You're thinking about it all the time. You create the energy to attract it into your life experience.
That's awesome. And I'll give you those that's listening that, as I said before, if you're watching and listening, you want to be a homeowner, your goal should be evaluate your credit and analyze your credit and see what challenges that. Send me information. You can even where Dr. Harris is going out, you could ask him some suggestions because he was pretty much like a loan officer, seemed like it himself. He knows the basics.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to start with your mindset, ladies and gentlemen, as you said before, and applying what's on your goal. Put it together. Don't be afraid to fail. Just do it. All it takes is just one step to do it. And you actually got experience that you can apply and teach
Hmm.
someone else. That's why I love that. I'm not afraid to fail. You come to me,
Hmm.
I tell you what not to do to get to the
Hmm.
next. Am I right,
Oh, yes,
Terrence?
sir. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's an example. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna go to the next. Make sure you guys subscribe. If you're watching it on YouTube, subscribe on your local podcast platforms so you can get to the next series part. This is a 4-part series episode. So once again, any last words before I go, Dr. Harris?
Well, I tell you what, we have a couple thoughts, couple things. Number one,
Okay.
we have a booklet called Setting and Achieving Your Goals.
Mm,
It's a free booklet, and it shows you how to write your goals down and how to lay out a step-by-step plan. Okay.
okay.
We also want to help people become what we say teachers of men, teachers of mind. And so there are a lot of folks out there that want to learn more, want to learn how to be successful, want to take different courses. And so we have a website, a little website where if you fill in, go to our website, and it's www.12, the number 12, uls.net.
Okay.
And you go to that website, we'll get you a free Setting and Achieving Your Goals booklet, and we will get you an audio called Wealth Building in Trying Times, which
Okay.
goes in with what you're talking about in creating wealth through real estate. So go to our website. That's our free gift to you. 12, the number 12, the letters ULS.net. And
Awesome.
we will send you the gifts that can change your life.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks for that episode, Dr. Harris. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. As I always end and say, don't condemn, don't complain, because you have a choice to make a change. Have a great day.